corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room, cause he say what the people been feeling for years, bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain, every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud, till Gerod hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerod go live. Gerod on the radio, whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerod on the radio, truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store, whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got weight. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talk schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky, the wall ain't still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak, cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud, hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation, through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio, whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio, truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store, whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard, the voice they couldn't silence. New Orleans, stand up.
Whoa, now, what's going on, good people? Welcome. It is the reality check on your radio for Thursday. In the building, having some conversation. You know how I'm going to introduction. The introduction is always going to be, even when we got company, the illustrious one has joined us.
Yes.
And I wasn't talking about that voice.
No,
I'm talking
not that.
that's
a
I'm
voice of
talking
agreement.
about this voice.
That's a voice of agreement.
They be like, did y'all just hear him call Wendell illustrious? No.
The
Suzette
voice of agreement.
Bagneris, the attorney extraordinaire, is in the building, y'all.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the reality check. I am so excited today, Gerard, because we are joined by one of New Orleans' most accomplished and well-respected sons, actor, producer, entrepreneur, community advocate.
Not even millionaire, extraordinaire, and millionaire, and a couple of other heirs.
Wendell Pierce.
Thank you very much. I am so happy to be here. I'm so honored to be here.
In your own station.
Yes, in the presence.
in his own city. Welcome home, welcome home.
Yes, it's always good to be home. It's great to be in this station. It's even greater to be in your presence.
How you doing, though? What's going on? And because of course, before we even start getting into one of the reasons why we're talking to you, but we always want to hear what you're doing, what were you doing, who you doing it with, what's coming, all those good things.
I have been very fortunate this year, especially, to do the trifecta. I always want to do a play, television, and a film. Each year to challenge myself that way. And I'm adding to it the quartet, which is to do Shakespeare, because I've just finished my production of Othello
Mm-hmm.
in Washington, D.C. at the Shakespeare Theater Company, and it really went well. It really did.
I
And,
want you to know
mhm.
that I got in a whole bunch of trouble with my folks. I just told you this story, but earlier this year, I'm like, Wendell in New York. Oh, we going to New York? I said, well, maybe I can introduce y'all to Wendell. I'm Flowboy. I got everybody saying, you don't know him.
Right.
You don't know. I say, yeah. I say, I'm gonna ask him if he want to come to dinner with us, because we went to Carmine's.
Right.
If you go to Carmine's, you done ate.
Right,
If you've
yeah.
never been to Carmine's, you haven't eaten yet. So when we're doing this, I'm sending you text messages at the same time. Coming
Right.
to New York, want to do this, da-da-da-da. He'll be there. Don't worry about it. And then you send me back. I'm in D.C., man. I'm doing Othello. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you were trying to grandstand.
Yes,
you were
I
trying
was-
to
yes.
show that you
I have-
knew somebody.
I have no problem telling you. I was trying to grandstand.
And I would have come up to New York had I had some
no,
time.
I know. Tell us about that, though. Because
It was great.
The photos were like, I mean, they were excellent.
People said, you said it in modern time. And I go, well, yes, because Shakespeare speaks to you in the present day and in modern time.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that when they were doing Shakespeare 400 years ago, they were not in costume. They were in the dress of the day. So our director, Simon Godwin, who's brilliant, he's the artistic director of the Shakespeare Theater Company in Washington, D.C., he said that's his belief. We are speaking to the present day audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it is set in the present day audience.
well,
with
it's
the present day.
timeless.
And it's timeless. And the reason it's timeless is because it spoke to people 400 years ago. It speaks to us now and will speak to people 400 years from now because of the humanity. And that's the thing that makes anything classic, when it speaks to our humanity and it's of great significance: betrayal, murder, racism, misogyny, all of those issues, the abuse of power, betrayal, all of those issues were not 400 years ago. Those are happening right now.
I was getting ready to ask, are you talking about then?
No,
Or are you talking about now? Yes.
right? It is the ugly part of human nature, and we are seeing the ugliest part of human nature on display on an hour-to-hour basis with the times that we're in today.
Well, for more than 4 decades, though, Wendell, you have had the ability to select scripts that allow you to bring characters to the stage that have extraordinary depth and humanity. How do you select those roles? How do you select the Bunk Moreland in The Wire, and the Antoine Baptiste in Treme, and James Greer and Jack Ryan, and Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman?
Yes.
How do you select these characters that allow you to pull out that depth and that humanity?
Well, one, you want to work gets you work. And what happens is producers and directors start to recognize in you over the course of the 40 years I've been in the industry, the sort of attention and detail that I bring to my work. And then these great roles that are written, that are created, are then offered to you to get a chance to explore, Now, if you look at other parts of my resume, you see, Jimbo Daniels.
That's been a minute, though. That's been
That's
a minute.
been a
Right,
minute.
right.
That's been a minute.
You have played some roles
but what you
Harry,
saying?
Harry the tax driver,
But-
the taxi driver,
But look, what you saying that, and I have an appreciation for you even saying that, because it lets everybody know where you came from
hmm
to where you are now,
And then you have to be
and then
intentional.
there's still more to come.
Yes. You have to be intentional, because I remember specifically before I got The Wire, which was the seminal role for me that really broke me out, when I got The Wire and played Bunk Moreland, I was doing all of these really bad 3-camera comedy pilots. And they would get 2 episodes and then be canceled. 2 episodes be canceled. And I said, one of the great lessons I learned a long time ago was employment doesn't define you as an artist. When you're unemployed, it's very easy to understand what that mantra means. Keep the faith, keep trusting yourself. Employment doesn't define you as an artist. But when you are working and you're doing some BS, you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, employment does not define you as an artist. You are doing some bull.
I'm gonna tell the story too.
And this is some bull crap. You need to change it up. And I told my agents, no more of that.
Right.
And the next job I got after I was that intentional was The Wire. Now, with all of these jobs like Willie Loman, and with Othello, these are, these were on my bucket list. limitless. These are the great challenges that any actor wants to play the great roles. And here I am in the third act of life. And I said, you know something? You have to face your fears and your challenges. And I realized that courage is acting in the face of fear, not in the absence of it. So I am courageous now, and I'm facing my fears and doing those roles that will challenge me and have challenged actors over the course of decades and centuries.
But that's interesting that you call it your third act of life.
Yeah, I'm entering into the third act. You know what? I have. Well, I mean, if I could get as many days as I have behind me in front of me, it would be good.
I think we both use that analogy all the time. But I'm going to tell this story. You're going to remember this when I tell it, because I don't call you up every day and say, "Hey man, look, you remember this?"
Yeah, right.
But you and I went to lunch one day. We went to Dookie Chase, and we were standing outside of Dookie Chase. Now, no disrespect to anybody, but everybody outside, we didn't know any of them.
They were not Wendell Pierce.
And they weren't anybody kin to Wendell Pierce, nor me. I'll put it that way. And it was a bunch of them. I was just standing out there. Wendell had his shades on. He was talking. And the guy said something to Wendell. And Wendell, with that voice, said, "Hey, man, what's going on? Good to meet you, da-da-da." And all of them turned around and said, "I know you. You're somebody important, da-da-da-da." And he introduced himself to him. He said, "Yeah." And the little guy looked at him and said, "Bump."
Yeah, Bunk.
I said, "They watch The Wire."
That's when you really play a role. When people start to really identify you and confuse you with the character that you played.
Yes.
Because you really, at that point, embodied that role such that people think that's a real person.
But he knew you by that role.
Right.
Right.
He didn't know you by your name.
Right.
But he
right.
knew you by that role. But it let me know that, wow, you've reached not only another genre of folks in age category, but also ethnicity.
Yes.
Because everybody out there that was surrounding you at that time saying, "Let's take pictures,"
Right.
they were white.
Yeah. Now here's something that I tell people all the time, especially when you get pushback from studios. Well, we can't do that because that story is just a niche. Only a certain people will watch it, and they always say that to black artists, it doesn't translate overseas. I'm like, well, they certainly love our music overseas. I'm sure they'll love our stories
For years.
For years. But the more specific you are, the more universal your story becomes.
Right.
Because The Wire was the perfect example of that. I was walking uptown in Manhattan one day, starting on the Upper East Side, walking, and a little blue-haired white lady stopped me and said, "Hey, I really like you on The Wire."
Oh, really?
And then I walked a few more blocks, and there was this, 30-plus white guy, crew cut, kind of looking away from me, looking around suspiciously, and he didn't look directly at me, but out of the side of his face, he kind of turns to me real low and says, "Hey, listen, I'm undercover, so I can't say anything much, but I love The Wire." I'm like, cool.
So he was a cop.
He was a cop.
Wow.
White cop.
Wow.
30 years old, undercover. He's like, "I'm undercover. I can't really say much, but I really like The Wire." I walk up, I enter into Harlem. His brother comes up to me, looking around, very quietly, out of the side of his face. Quiet, said, "Hey, listen, man, I'm hustling. I can't talk to you right now, but I really like The Wire."
You went
couldn't-
from one spectrum to the other.
Yeah,
right?
you could not get three more disparate people to talk to me
Right.
who really found the humanity in The Wire speaking to them. So the more specific you tell your story, the more universal it becomes.
I got to tell you one of my favorite roles, and I think I told you this before. I love Elsbeth.
Yes.
As quirky as it is, and,
Yes.
and as quirky as some of the stories have been, they end up playing themselves to the point where you didn't really. It makes you think.
Right.
It's
It's such a great show. It's so much fun. It's
Mhm.
great to be in a show where it's just fun. And it shows you how crazy and different it is because it starts with a murder. So it's that fun-filled show that starts with a murder.
yeah.
Right?
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mhm.
And it's not a whodunit because you know right away. The audience knows
Right.
right away.
Who already did it?
Right. But it's a how done it. Like, how will Elsbeth
And
in
can
her
y'all
quirky-
solve it?
Can you solve it? How
Right.
will they solve it?
Right.
And the audience is in on it, going, come on, come
Come
on,
on.
come
Think
on.
about
You
it.
get it.
Mhm.
Think about it. Look at that. And they enjoy the ride that we go on trying to figure it out. And especially with Elsbeth, because she is so quirky. And she speaks to that sort of inner child in all of us that, people had no faith in me, but look, see, I can figure things out.
I want to go through one more show, and then, of course, I want to talk about why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the shows that I love to watch and the role that you played in it, and I love to watch the repeats. Suits.
Yes. I didn't know I was on Suits.
What?
Right? I
And
took
that's
a job.
Megan. That's
I was Meghan Markle's dad.
Dad.
Right? And I came on to introduce her dad. And, he said, we're going to do 1 or 2 shows, and that's it. And next thing you know, they called me back the next year and said, well, we have these shows.
Right.
And I was doing Jack Ryan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, that's what I was committed to. And they called me back, are you available? You want to do 3 more? Actually, 5 more. There's 7, actually, we want to do, if you can do all 7. Yeah, we figured out the time, and I did all 7. Then when the show was coming to an end, I looked up and said, wait a minute.
This is
I've
Meghan
been on
Markle.
the show for 8 years.
Right. Right.
I did not know it.
So was Meghan Markle then at that point in time?
Meghan Markle?
In her role as she is now, was she headed that route? Did you get to meet the folks with royalty?
I came back one season, and they were saying, Meghan is dating Prince Harry. I'm like, yeah, right. Has he come to set?
I would have said,
not
my
yet.
daughter for real?
Yeah, right. I said, really, man? I don't believe. I don't believe. I hear the rumors, and I see it was starting to leak out in the press and everything. I say, yeah. So
I guess that makes you the king if
Right,
you're the
yeah,
father
right,
of
right,
the princess.
right.
Oh man, I was ready to walk her down the aisle. Let me tell you, I became her father.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I don't believe it. So I was the one. I was the Doubting Thomas. I don't believe it. Then one day we got on set, and she was in the show getting married, so she had an engagement ring, and this real serious dude came to the window. We cut the scene, and she was opening her door. He closed the door, told him, roll down the window. He goes, Meghan, stay in the car.
Stay in the car.
Stay in the car until I tell you when you come out. We have a paparazzi down the street.
Oh, wow.
3 or 4. And I was like, ooh, who's this real serious? And all of a sudden, this James Bond dude was on set. Right? All the time. And then I said, oh, okay.
So now
okay,
you
yeah.
It's
got
for
it.
real.
Yeah, it's for
now
real.
I have confirmation.
Now I
This
have
is really
confirmation.
going on.
It's really going on. And then didn't get a chance to meet him on the set, but I knew when we did the wedding, it was the last show. I told Meghan, I said, your life is about to change. I don't know if I'll ever see you again or whatever. I just want you to know that when you're in that bubble, know that there are lots of people who love you. There are thousands of people that love you, and then your close friends and family, and I hope you consider me a friend. We're always here for you. We love you.
Do you talk to her anymore? Have you talked to her since?
I was at a benefit where they were getting an award, and I'm sitting in the audience, and I'm like, oh, like a proud papa.
Right.
Right? I'm like, yeah, there she is. Excuse me, Mr. Pierce. And Prince would like to meet you backstage. I'm like, of course, let's go. When?
Right.
So I didn't get a chance to go to the wedding. So I go backstage, I'm waiting, and then I hear, Wendell, hello, it's Harry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so that's when I got a chance. I got a chance to talk to him and hang out with him for
Wow.
a long time. She was still speaking on stage, and then she came off stage. It
Hold
was great.
on 1 minute. Did you get
How
a chance to go
amazing.
to the wedding?
I did not.
My
My invitation must have been lost in the
It
mail.
got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
That's it. Last one before because I got to go down your whole history.
Yeah.
I was really mad that y'all put out one episode of Jack Ryan.
One movie.
That's it.
One movie that we gave you 4 seasons, but now, because of the time that it takes to do a whole season, they said, let's see if we can do a movie. So it was a test run to come in, just do 2 to 3 months of shooting, do a movie, and Ghost War turned out great, man. Oh, man.
But
We
you left
shot
people
all over
hanging. Y'all
London.
left people hanging. We were waiting for some more.
I know, well, hopefully there will be some more.
I think
And
that
so-
was a way
There
of
may
you saying
be,
there's
there
going
may
to
be.
be some more.
Yeah,
That's what I
there
was
will
about
be
to
some
say.
more. I'm now over the CIA.
Yes, indeed. That's right. Because you just wrote the letter. Okay. Spoiler alert for those who don't want to hear this. Let me go ahead and give you the insight. And that was you had just wrote the letter asking Jack to be your assistant,
Right, to be my deputy director at the CIA.
and you were on the plane.
Right.
That's just to let you know I watched it, bro. I
Yes,
watched it
yes,
from the
indeed.
beginning.
Yes, indeed.
But
And
I'm
how about
looking
that car chase through London?
Oh.
Oh man.
And I said, look at Wendell in the Rover, baby. pull over. And then they jump out the van and take out the rest of the gang.
Yeah,
I told you, I saw the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
trying not to
great.
tell everybody. Yes, I am telling everybody.
You are telling everybody.
All right, you got to take a break? Okay,
All
let's
right,
take
we'll
a break.
be
We'll
right
come right
back.
back because Wendell got something to tell everybody that's going on right here in New Orleans.
You are listening to WBOK 1230 AM.
What?
And 107.1 FM.
There you go. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 AM and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to
All day long.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period. So they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
New Orleans parents, is your child preparing for the ACT? Top Tutors for Us provides personalized test prep designed for African American students who will connect with tutors who look like them from top HBCUs. Our students receive targeted instruction, consistent practice, and the courage they need to raise their scores and compete for college scholarships. Founded right here in New Orleans, our award-winning program was designed with our students in mind. Don't wait until test day. Visit TopTutorsForUs.com and help your child begin preparing today.
Hi, my name is Shirley Simon.
I am Dr. Brenda Jackson.
Hello, my name is Linda Payson. We are all members of the NAACP New Orleans branch, and we would like to invite you to our President's Legacy Breakfast.
The President's Legacy Breakfast will be held on Saturday, August 29th, 8:30 a.m. at the Hilton Riverside Hotel.
Get your tickets today at eventbrite.com for $100 or call the NAACP at 504-434-8965.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Thursday afternoon in the building. We've got our co-host, of course, Suzette Bagneris, and our special guest that ain't guest. He actually is family, because this is partly his radio station as well.
Yes.
Would y'all please welcome home, though, the one, the only, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So let's talk about what you're doing now, because this is one thing I will tell you, Wendell, is that you have seemed to pick up on a lot of roles that a lot of folks are really interested in. And I got to go back to what you just said a few minutes ago of the choices that you have. In this business, you don't have too many choices. You get a role or you don't get it.
Right.
You got choices.
That's it.
Is that a blessing in itself?
That is a real blessing. It's a real blessing. I have the one thing is, like I was saying before, I tried to be as diverse as possible. Do stage, do television, do film. And people always feel as though, hey, man, if you're not in the film, and they're working films, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up? You know, working on television, I haven't seen you in a while. Or you do a lot of, they do a lot of theater. Well, God, you haven't done theater in a long time. So I actually tried to do all three.
Right.
And I was blessed to do Othello. I went over to London and did Jack Ryan. And then, as you said, I'm on Elsbeth right now on CBS. And then I did Superman. When Superman came out.
I didn't see Superman yet, but it makes
He played Perry White.
I played Perry White, yes.
Okay, so
And
you the man that said, hey, look, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. All right, go. Get that scoop.
Do you
Which
ever,
is well-rounded. It's a well-rounded repertoire.
Yeah.
But do you
And
ever get that type of conversation piece, though, Wendell, when folks have looked at these stories in the past and they're played by white men, and here you go playing that role that a white man would be known for from older adults, of course.
Right.
But when you take that role, you handle yourself in that role, but you're also getting a new audience.
Yeah, you're getting a new audience and bringing people who didn't know about Perry White, who didn't even expect you to see it. And I think about all the kids who are now going to see this editor of the Daily Planet as a black man. You know, that's impressionable. We were just talking about an old boss of ours in the radio business, Brute Bailey, man.
Yeah.
When I was on WYLD, he was the man that introduced me into radio, and I saw the way he handled himself and how serious he took his work. That made a great impression on me.
Brute was my program director at WFXC, Foxy 107 in Durham, North Carolina.
He's known around the country.
And he would sit down, and I think I was maybe 20, 21 years old at that time. And Brute, I was terrified of him.
Yeah, I was too.
I was terrified of him, but I was terrified of him because I didn't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
Because he looked so, like really upset
and
that you didn't do something right.
He had the expectation that
But his expectation was that you were going to do it right. And if you did get it wrong, he would say, go in another room and practice.
And practice. And get it right.
And get it right.
Because that's what I expect of you.
Right.
I remember, man, I was just saying off the air how I got my first chance. It was overnight, 12 to 6 a.m. You know, boy, and it was 20 minutes after the hour. This is Wendell Pierce. And you just heard from the OJs and all of that. And push the button. Maybe I pushed the button. Maybe there was a little dead air.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't cue up the record right well enough. And then it would start, right? And I'm like, oh, cool. Finally, it started. That's cool. The worst thing that can happen in radio is dead air.
Yep.
Next thing you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, the red phone rings. Like, I know he can't be calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning on the hotline.
And
I pick it up. Hey, Kate, what's going on, Cat? What the hell was that?
What is he doing up?
What are you doing? It was dead air. And I was like, Brute, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I know. I heard you. Or should I say I didn't hear you because it was dead air. And I was like, man, do you sleep? So the expectation that he had of me was then became a part of the DNA, the expectation I have for myself. So I'm very intentional with the roles that I pick, and I try to pick roles that are going to challenge me, that I'm fearful of, and that also are going to have a major impression. And that's the sort of thing that it's about having a story and picking roles that will have an impact. And that's the reason I came here to actually screen a film that I'm very proud of that I did called They Fight.
Wendell, you're bringing home a film centered on mentorship, second chances, communities fighting to preserve the institutions that hold them together. What does it mean to you to present They Fight to a New Orleans audience?
Well, first of all, it's always great to come home, right, and share your work with people. I feel great about sharing it to the film community of New Orleans too. It's very important that people remember and that we nurture and continue to nurture this great film industry that we have created here in New Orleans and in Louisiana in general. And so I wanted to make sure that I supported that. And I also wanted to support this film and the studio that it came from, a small studio under the auspices of Disney and Hulu and ESPN, which is a company called Anscape, who's run by this this black man from Britain, actually, Nigerian Britain, a band by the name of Jason Adu, a younger man, younger than me, and he's running the studio, and it's intentional that it tells the stories, black stories, intersecting with sports stories, and that's what this is about. They Fight is about, based on, inspired by the true story of Walter Manigault, who was running a boxing gym in Southeast D.C. And the impressions that he made on the young men there and took them to these national championship competitions where they succeeded. And so we wanted to honor him and honor. They did a documentary about him.
I was going to say, Manigault, that's a true story that was done. A documentary. I forgot exactly what the name of the documentary was, but I remember
the documentary was called They Fight.
Yeah, okay.
And so they said, let's do his story, fictionalized story, something that Andre Holland, who is one of the great actors of our generation, I worked with him on Selma, and you know him from The Knick, you know him from Moonlight, and Love Brooklyn recently did last year. He does some great stuff, man. And I wanted to work with Andre again, and the director, Sheldon Candace, and Jason Adu. So you have this black studio at Disney, along with some great actors and this great material to tell this great story that is really about each one, teach one. You know, how you can redeem the mistakes that you make with your life, but at the same time share and lift someone else up who may not have the opportunities that you have, and show them a brighter way.
On the surface, this film is about boxing. But boxing is also a metaphor for the struggles taking place outside of the ring. What is They Fight really fighting for?
Giving you the power and the recognition and the knowledge that you have to exercise your right of self-determination. There are those who do not have your best interest at heart, who will do everything to place obstacles in front of you. You will place obstacles in front of yourself. You will disappoint yourself. You will not go all the way, but you have to find a way out of no way, but to exercise your right of self-determination and know that you are the master of your own fate.
It's a deep script.
Yeah.
And
it's very simple and beautiful.
I was talking to some of the, because New Orleans is known for some of its elders, its boxers. And those guys still around today. But their boxing is not come on in, get in the gym and beat the hell out of somebody.
Right.
They're every time they take a kid or older person into that ring, they're using the experience of boxing as a lesson.
Right.
You're learning something, not only how to protect yourself, but to actually cultivate and think.
Right. Come up with a strategy. When to defend yourself, when to go on the offensive.
So we meet, a lot of those guys, and they don't get the credit that they really deserve. But it's been a lot of guys that came through these boxing rings.
Yeah.
And a lot of these older, I don't want to call them older guys, but our elders that are still there teaching the same way.
Yeah. The first person I thought of, we all know, which is Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Nelson Mandela was a boxer. Another person I thought of, someone who inspired, I actually don't know if he was connected with boxing, but I know him as from New Orleans. You cannot grow up in New Orleans in the community and have any sort of consciousness without knowing and honoring Jerome Smith.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes. And I also thought of a man who was my little league coach for years, a second father, Coach Mack in Pontchartrain Park. Coach Mack, I don't even really know how to say his name. Coach Mack Knox.
Knox?
Yeah, Mack Knox. And they're going to kill me. Everybody in the park that's listening right now, like, man, how you got to mess up?
They're gonna give it to you later, but that's all right.
Mac something Knox, but we called him Coach Mac, and he was.
Trust me, everybody know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he would, and we have Mac Burnett. I knew I got Mac Burnett Knox. I got it right. It's the playground in Pontchartrain Park. We had it named after him in his honor because he would. I remember him stopping us in the middle of the game. Call, a play would go wrong, and he would stop us and go,
"What y'all doing?
What you doing?
Right?
What kind of man do you want to be?
Oh, wow.
What do you want to do?
Your man.
So, I mean, really, he was
On
just
a little league play.
He said, because that's all we're doing. We're not playing a game here.
Right.
We're trying to figure out how you're going to live your life. Is this how you're going to live your life?
Wow.
That's what he was saying. I'm like, man,
I'm 6.
I'm right. I'm 8 years old. What are you talking about? I hope, I got 38 years before I'm a man. But he was that impactful. And so I thought about them as I played the role of Slim, someone who was running this gym, and then he sees someone else get out of prison. When Walt gets out of prison, he goes, "You're looking for redemption. You're looking for more than just coaching this boxing gym. It's calling you, but you're looking for redemption. I can help you with that. So join me." So those are the men I was thinking of when I was doing this role, and that's how I chose the role too.
So that's what drew you to the film and made you want to play the part of Slim?
Absolutely. To play the part of Slim because he is the manifestation of all of those men that commit so much of their lives to giving to the young kids as their brother's keeper. Each one teach one.
One of the things I will go back to with your career, though, Wendell, is the fact that no matter how many different roles you do, somehow you end up bringing a role that has something to do with Louisiana, but mostly New Orleans, because this is not your first stop back in New Orleans. I can even go back to when you were walking down the street with the cameras rolling, playing the trombone.
Oh yeah, in Treme. So
Treme was one of those movies that it was a life experience for a lot of folks all over the world because they had no idea what had happened here in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
And I think the role that you played was significant in making a whole lot of people, whether we want to laugh at this right now or not, it opened up the door for a whole lot of people to understand that New Orleans was no longer underwater.
Right. It was really interesting. I always forget about Treme as a part of my career because it's such an important part of my life. It was the last 3 years I got to spend with my mother before she passed on. I was coming home after that major disaster. And, there was a line in Treme, "I just want my city back." That would ring in my ear. And then I also thought, 20 years from now, when some kid comes up to you and says, "Mr. Pierce, in New Orleans' darkest hour, what did you do?" I wanted to have a good answer. So it motivated me to become proactive and an advocate for my neighborhood and start the effort to rebuild my neighborhood and get people to come back and get civically activated and involved to make sure that my neighborhood came back, and also made me do Treme. Now, Treme is like a cultural document that years from now, when that question is asked, I can always pull it out and say, look at what people were feeling and trying to do, and how to do. And culture is where the rubber meets the road, how people deal with life. That is what culture is. And the role of culture is to give a place for us collectively to decide who we are. Right? That's what we think about as individuals with our thoughts. What do I want to do with my life? Well, with art and with culture, we're saying, what do we want to do with our lives as a community? What are our values? And then allow that piece of art to motivate you to go and act on those values. I tell people when they come to a second line, I say, yeah, man, look at the pretty suits. Listen to the music and listen to the band and dance. I said, but when you're in that second line, look behind you. I said, because it's a social aid and pleasure club. You understand the pleasure part, but social aid is we're marching commerce into underserved communities.
An underserved community.
That lady selling beer, the guy making barbecue. We stop at somebody's restaurant. We stop at a member's house. Sell you candy. I don't know why all the members make candy. It seems like
praline.
Yeah, pralines, man. You got to get pralines and red velvet cake. It's like I've eaten so much red velvet cake and pralines, right? But and then stop at a bar, and that is what culture is. Your mama takes sick, We'll take care of you.
Right.
Your daddy die, we're going to send him off nice.
But you did something else. So if anybody says, well, damn, Gerard know all of Wendell's career, probably.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you did that I thought was phenomenal, and you always talk about Pontchartrain Park. Yeah, this is where I grew up. This is my home, da-da-da-da. But you're the only person that I heard say, we're going to get one of those historical markers.
Yeah, well, I have to give that to not only myself, but to the whole community.
Right.
We knew that it grew out of the civil rights movement, Pontchartrain Park, right? We couldn't go to green space in New Orleans if you were black, except one day out of the week. If your black ass was caught in City Park outside of Wednesday, you would be arrested.
Really?
Yes, unless you were working for some white man or with a white family, caretaking for him, whatever. You couldn't be in that park except one day out of the week, and I think it was Wednesday. And A.P. Tura led the effort for access to green space. Access to green space. So when that effort was growing, the appeasement was Pontchartrain Park. Well, all right, here you're going to have access. There's going to be 200 acres of green space and these houses, separate but equal. Until the Woods was white, Pontchartrain Park, black. So we took something ugly, separate but equal, and made it beautiful. Which was a neighborhood that became an incubator for black talent. You know, civically, the lawyers, the doctors, the laborers. My father was a maintenance man. My mother was a teacher, the mailman, all of that. That was an effort that came out of the civil rights movement. And we were in some of the deepest part of the flooding. And I said, that was our Moses generation.
So let me bring something else.
If we could not allow it to be destroyed as a Joshua generation.
About your dad, God rest his soul. You were a big advocate, and probably still are, about the service that your dad brought to the United States, to this city. And I'll never forget when they made the announcement, hey, they're going to fly these planes in a V formation all over, which included the World War II planes. You were adamant of, number one, being here, making sure that you got your dad to be outside so that he could look up and see these World War II planes. Right. What did that mean to you? I know what that meant to your dad because you explained it very well. But what did that mean to you at that time? And maybe even now?
My father fought in Saipan and was denied the medals that his unit earned when he came back by a white officer in Fort Hood, Texas. And my mother came to me and said, your father got these medals, and we got a letter from the Army saying that he did deserve the medals that they denied him. I said, give me the letters. And the World War II Museum said they would help me get the medals. She brought me the letter, and it was from January 1945, a yellow piece of paper. And I said, what? I realized
it was the original.
It was the original letter, and this was 2010. And here my father had held on to that for all that time, and I thought she was bringing me a recent letter. And they got him his medals. They said, Wendell, not only are we going to give him his medals, we want to give him the medals on Veterans Day that year. My brother went to West.
And they did it at World War II
Museum. At World War II Museum. Right. I did it. My brother went to West Point. And when he graduated, my father pinned him as an officer. And I called my brother and I said, if it's one day you better be home.
This is it.
Is this on Veterans Day, you are going to pin your father with the medals that he won in World War II.
And that was a ceremony.
And that was a ceremony. And I said, so when they were bringing the planes in for that, I said I wanted him to see that. That was a couple of years later. But, my father said, he demonstrated by his actions. He loved this country when this country didn't love him back. And the one thing he always taught us was, this is yours, right? Don't let anybody tell you this is not yours, not your country. We built this country. This is our country. And the most important phrase in our mantras of patriotism is to form a more perfect union, because it is definitely imperfect and immoral at times.
Let's do this. Let's take our next break here real quick. We're going to invite folks. You got a few minutes to take some telephone calls?
Yes.
All right. 504-582-9422. Want to speak directly to Mr. Pierce? He is in the studio to have some conversation with you. We'll be right back right after these questions right here at
WBOK 1230 AM.
And 107.1 FM.
There we go.
What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
More, y'all, coming up.
I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
What's up, gang? This is DJ Wick, and I would like to invite you to join me this Sunday night for the Throwback Throwdown, 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM and on KKNO 750 AM and 107.1 FM, as I have a very special show this Sunday to salute the man himself, Barry Richards, the Rita Czar, as he has passed on and gained his wings. I'm rebroadcasting the very first interview of the Throwback Throwdown with the Rita Czar as our special guest. Join us this Sunday night for the Throwback Throwdown with yours truly, DJ Wick, 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM and KKNO 750 AM, 107.1 FM.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
What if you could pull up a chair at the same table as your doctors? Join me, Kimber White Dupree, as I welcome board-certified physicians, Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlonda Rayno Harris. For Table Rounds, we're bringing those meaningful medical conversations out of the hospital and into our community. Health topics that matter most, from the health disparities and menopause to mental health and much more. Table Rounds with Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlonda Rayno Harris. Every fourth Monday at 10 a.m. on the front porch, because better conversations lead to better health.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good afternoon, and we are back with Wendell Pierce in the studio.
Yes.
And we are talking about your new work, They Fight. So I'm really excited about this work, and I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about the work itself. The character you play, Slim, recognizes something in Walt that Walt may no longer recognize in himself.
Correct.
What does Slim see in him that he wants to pull out of him?
Well, first, he remembers who he was, right? He's been away. He's been in prison for years. And when he comes back, he recognizes him as the one who had this great ability. He was a great trainer himself. You know, he was a great boxer, but he's a great trainer. And he was like, this is exactly what he needs. Someone I've prayed for as the character of Slim. And we are about to lose this gem. It would be the equivalent, this boxing gym on the southeast side of Washington, D.C., it would be the equivalent of losing the Treme Center here. If somebody said, hey, sorry, we're going to take the Treme Center. We need this back. You always have to watch that anyway, man, because they try to take Armstrong Park
It's so
all the time.
relatable, though. Sometimes, you can't see your talent, but somebody else can see it. You
Right.
can't see your potential, but somebody else can see it. And how great it is to have somebody who recognizes something in you that you may have forgotten about yourself, you may doubt yourself, but sees it in you and is willing to pull it out.
We always have to have those people. Even I was saying that I'm in the third act of my career, but one of the challenges I got to in my career was, and this was just a few years ago, I thought My best days are behind me.
No.
Oh, your best days are
Absolutely.
definitely not behind you. But I think we all have those moments.
Yeah, you have those moments, and it wasn't until someone said, "No, we think you can play one of the great roles of Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman." And when they offered, they said, "We want you to be in Death of a Salesman." The first thing I did was, "Oh, wow, you want me to play Charlie, the neighbor?"
No.
They're like, "No." I was like, "Well, I can't be the boss, because in those days, 1949, black man wasn't going to own a company." They're like, "No, we want you to play Willie."
But you have such depth to you and such breadth to you and talent that I think is great. You can play roles that are not pigeonholed for black people.
And let's be for real.
You can play roles
Wendell,
for anybody.
the number of folks that are famous, A-listers, that came to see you play this role.
Oh, yeah.
Every night.
Yeah, it was a real milestone. What you're saying is, I know, and I've always said, the humanity that we possess is so multifaceted, so complex, and is as complex as anyone in the human spectrum. And what happens is we forget that. So much so that I remember while we were doing Death of a Salesman, one of the producers asked me, "Did you guys change that scene? We can't change that scene. We have to get approval from the estate." And it's the scene where Willie is having an affair. And the director was afraid of it. She said, "I think it should be a black woman." I said, "No, it will be a white woman because that increases the betrayal. And then it makes it more dangerous when they are caught by his son because of the words that she says walking out." Now, I did it in Britain. It was a British director. And I said, for her to say in a slip in 1937 to two black men standing there, "I hope nobody sees me when I walk out of here with no dress on." That was saying you could get killed. Right?
Yep.
That meant nothing. That was just an embarrassment.
That was an embarrassment for a white man.
A white man.
But for a black guy, that was reality.
I had a line when they knock on the door. I tell her, "Get in the bathroom. There may be a law against this."
Right. But it
Hide
had
in the bathroom.
two different meanings.
And then the producer came and said, "You changed that line. You can't put that line in there about, you can't be caught with a white woman." I said, "That's the original line."
That's the original line.
I said, the original line.
It had two different meanings.
It just says, in 1937, you couldn't be in a hotel room not married.
Right. And
But
you couldn't
this-
be in that hotel because you're a black man.
Right. But this was we said it. It was a black hotel. She came to the black side of
that's
town.
right.
Right. So now I'm like a white woman coming out of my room in the black hotel and with no clothes on. That could get us lynched.
That enhanced the impact of the statement.
And that's because the specifics of, the more specific you are, the more universal your story becomes and the more impactful it becomes. When they try to tell us, "Well, I don't think a black man should be Perry White." I say, "Well, all right. If we embrace your idea that I can't play this role because a white man played it first or a white character, it was drawn," I said, "Well, you shouldn't do it at all because people don't fly like Superman."
There you go.
Right now, if we're gonna use that as the barometer by which to judge, then you can't fly as Superman.
All right, let's take these calls before you go into the news because Javernia has been holding on for a minute. Javernia?
Hey, Gerard, how you doing?
Good, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. And attorney extraordinaire, Ms. Bagneris, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
And Mr. Pierce.
Yes, sir.
Your movies are sensational, but I'd like to ask you about your philanthropy. When you tried to open the grocery store on the West Bank, I can't imagine how you felt when it had to close. Could you talk a little bit about that? I don't know if you talked about it earlier. I'm just getting in my car and I'm listening now.
No, when we were bringing back housing and post Katrina, I knew that you couldn't ask people to come back to a community that didn't have services, and there was an opportunity. Which the Obama administration had said, we're going to give you support and help in the Farm Bill to open up grocery stores in underserved communities. and in food deserts. And that's what I attempted to do, to fix the problem of food desert and bring back commerce to New Orleans. And so the store lasted for. We didn't open in Orleans Parish.
It's just in Parish, yeah.
Because there were those who didn't have our best interests at heart, didn't want me to open, and did everything to block it, right? And so I actually was opening a store. We had the contract to open the store on Broad and Bienville. And then the next thing I know, our contract to open at Broad and Bienville was just ignored, a breach of contract, and the mayor gave a $2 million grant to the richest company in the world, Whole Foods, to open a grocery store there. So, I mean, I tell the mayor to this day, it would be really wonderful if he gave $2 million free to a black business so they can open a store. Whole Foods didn't need that money.
If that can happen to a Wendell Pierce, I think it just shines a light and exposes the problem that the average black man or woman has trying to start a business in the city of New Orleans.
So we have absolutely, and that's the issues that black businesses have, which is the same benefits that would be given to other businesses aren't given to us, and our areas are ignored. But I opened that store. We lasted about 3 years. But let me tell you, grocery stores are one of the hardest businesses around. There's a margin of about 2%.
Everybody keeps saying that,
2 or 3%. And also, as an actor, I'm a student of human behavior. No matter if you're rich, poor, white, black, young or old, people do not feel as though they are stealing when they steal in the grocery store. Because I have a basket of food. So these 3 things.
Oh,
they ain't gonna miss that.
I'm gonna eat some grapes while I'm walking through here shopping.
Make some grapes, yeah. I'm gonna take about 2 pounds of these grapes. And these grapes, I'm telling you. And then
I'm sorry, y'all still got me on video, bro. You still got me on video.
And then the other thing, and people pinch their pennies too, man, when it comes to stuff.
But you're shining a light on something else that we don't talk about enough. And that's, we want to have these stores in our community. But yet we're causing thefts in the stores that's making them close.
But like I said, Counselor, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It is a unique psychological thing. I remember in production meetings, they would say, well, the shrinkage was such and such percentage today, and the shrinkage, and I kept saying, I'm learning curve, I'm just learning business. I said, what's shrinkage? And they said, when there's the displacement of product without payment. I was like, the displacement of product without payment? Wait, you have the product and it's displacement. Yeah, it's removed from the store, but without payment. I'm like,
that's
stealing.
It's a fancy term.
It's a fancy term for
you got
shrinkage. I was like, what is shrinkage?
Right,
what they call it now? Loss prevention.
Yeah, man, it's like it's shrinkage.
It's loss
and I'll never
prevention.
forget. Oh, can I tell this story? This is. The people who work there know it's true. So there was one young man we were actually helping. He was in the butcher shop, and he was walking out one day. He worked there, and he was challenged, mentally challenged.
Okay.
I was so proud to have him there. Great. He was working. One day, he had a side of pork, half a pork, and he was walking out the front door
with the whole side of pork.
And so
nobody would miss that,
right? So excuse me, I'm not gonna say his name. Hey man, they asked him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm taking this, I'm putting it in my truck."
A whole side of pork.
It's a whole side of pork. Said you take it and put it in your truck. Yeah, you just gonna walk out the front door with that and put it in your truck? He said, "Yeah, because the back door is locked. That's where we normally take it out." And I'm like,
You asked.
And we're like, go put that back and go home. We'll call you.
Well, we hope that answers your question, Gerod, as to why the store is no longer in operation.
That's why the store is no longer there. But it's a good effort.
Javernia, I don't appreciate him calling me mentally challenged, though. But that part was good, bro. It was good.
I was working at BOK when that store opened.
Yes.
And we've talked about the pharmacy that was inside. We talked about it being black owned. I was like, where are the people? I couldn't understand why we weren't there.
Well, actually, the people came. Lincolnshire. Lincolnshire. Right. It's a great neighborhood.
Because I was there for your opening too.
Yeah,
me,
great opening.
You, Troy, what's his name with STEM? Dr. Mackey.
Yeah, Dr. Mackey was there.
All of us were there.
Councilman Lee was there and helped us, and the other councilman.
And it was hot.
Yeah, man. And it really, people supported us. It was just to be able to sustain it. I'll say something else. My business partner. I wonder if he wants me to say it. I'll never forget. We over the 3 years, I think, of course of this one particular loan, we got behind like 1 month, right? And then caught up, and then we were paying, but we still had that 1 month,
right?
Maybe two. That with this bank, and we said, hey, listen, we're really tight with cash flow. Can you just put it on the end of the loan, right? That means you're making even more interest on it.
Right.
No, can't do that. Can we readjust it? Want to be like Donald Trump? Talk to the bank, readjust your loan, right? They were like, no. They said, but we've been paying since we missed those 2 months. We've been paying for like a year and a half on time, everything, and there's 2 months lag from way back.
Leverage.
No. These new owners of this small credit union, and we were the biggest loan there. I can say no names. We're on the West Bank, and they said, you know something? We just don't want to work with you.
They said that to you?
Wow.
I said, what? They said, we just don't want to do business with you. I said, do you realize what you're saying? They said, we know exactly what we're saying. And I was like,
wow.
They knew, even if taped.
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They bought this bank. This small credit union on the West Bank that we were doing business with in Avondale. And they said, we just don't want to do business with you. I said, we're personally guaranteed it and all. I said, you see, it's just 2 months. I said, yeah, we just don't want to do business.
I'm happy you shared that story because I've had that happen to me. I had a banking institution here after I settled a big case for $100 million, paid back a $1 million line of credit. They sent me a letter and said, thank you, but we no longer need your business.
Yeah, and that happens. I actually protested. They had an all-black woman capital venture group that was taken to court for discrimination because they were supporting
they were
black
giving
women.
loans to black women.
To
exactly.
black women.
And they said that was DEI and advantaging black women.
Around. At least when they attack you, they normally would get a white woman to make an application, and when they say, hey, no, they didn't even have a plaintiff.
Well, I feel a little better now because, Suzette Bagneris got the Wendell Pierce treatment.
Oh, yes.
If it could happen to you.
I tell you what, that's what happened with the store, but I really appreciate all the support that you gave us, sir.
Giovanni, thank you, man. We got to take our break here.
All right.
I appreciate it. Good talking to you, buddy. All right, we got to do news. We'll be right back. You got some more time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. More coming up, y'all. Guess who's in the building? The one, the only, Wendell Pierce.
I keep forgetting people listening. I better be quiet.
More coming up, y'all.
They're going to knock on your door for that 1 month.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Raleigh police are investigating the death of a 32-year-old black man who was found hanging in downtown Raleigh in North Carolina over the weekend. Black Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce.
At 1:59 p.m., video shows the young man carrying an electrical cord walking towards the tree by himself.
Authorities say surveillance video supports their belief that no foul play was involved, though the investigation remains ongoing. Spike Lee's annual Michael Jackson Block Party is returning to Brooklyn's Fort Greene Park on August 29th. The free community celebration of the King of Pop's birthday will feature music, dancing, and a special set from longtime Michael Jackson collaborator DJ Spinna. And Getty Images is partnering with 11 HBCUs to digitize and preserve historic photo archives. The images will be featured in a special collection that generates funding and scholarships while allowing the schools to retain ownership of their archives. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, we're back, y'all. We are back. We're getting schooled financially by Wendell Pierce. Huh?
Oh, no.
Thanks, everybody, for checking in here. Wendell Pierce in the building, having some conversation. They Fight, which is going to be premiering here in New Orleans on this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday, we're going to be at the Orpheum. You can go to, everyone is invited. It is actually the best admission fee, which is free.
Yeah.
Absolutely free. You go to the NewOrleansFilmSociety.org, or the acronym for that, New Orleans NFS, the New Orleans Film Society. Yes, NFS.org. I'm doing it in my head. I'm not looking. I'm not cheating on no paper.
I'm saying I'm cheating. I'm looking for it.
Yes, the New Orleans Film Foundation.org, and you have to RSVP through the app. We're going to have the doors open at 6 o'clock. The filming starts at 7. The film starts at 7, and then afterwards we're going to have a little Q&A. I'm going to have questions and answers with the audience and with the head of the Film Society.
Oh, that's great.
So we're going around and promoting this film because this wonderful company, Anscape, I wanted to support them and make sure they heard about it. It's wonderful work by Andre Holland, who you know from Moonlight.
I was going to say from Moonlight.
And last year he did a great film called Love, Brooklyn. If you haven't seen it, you should check that out. It's a great.
I'll tell you who else used to do exactly what you all are doing here, and I gave him a lot of credit. He came here to do it, too. I forgot the name of the movie. I was going to look it up, but Bill Duke.
Yes.
Bill Duke would always do that because I find that at some point in time in black actors' lives that you all start taking on your own projects.
You have to. You're almost obligated. And we have a great tradition of that, going all the way back to Oscar Michaud. Oscar Michaud did what we call four-walling. You make the film, and then you just go from town to town, rent out the theater, and invite people to come.
Is that profitable, though?
It can be, but it's very difficult. And that's the one thing that, that's the one thing that's missing. We have the black creators. We have the producers. We have the directors.
But do we have the
the actors. We don't have the distribution infrastructure yet. And that is something that I'm working on myself right now. That is where the investment needs to be, because we listen to the distributors and the studios, and they tell us, well, your film won't play. The biggest misinformation out there is that black films don't play overseas, and they don't play around the world. But yet you look at all the culture from overseas and around, everybody's trying to emulate us. Right? Trying to emulate us. Man, you just look at Louis Vuitton, their whole
K-pop.
bag.
Look at K-pop.
K-pop, which is just, the imitation of black music. Right? And Louis Vuitton, it goes back even further. Louis Vuitton, the actual Louis Vuitton signature that you see is just Bantu mud cloth.
Okay.
That you've seen over and over, right? That, is coming from Africa. So the emulation of black culture and the desire of black culture has been there, and producers and distributors don't see it and don't believe in it. So when you have an opportunity like this, where we have a studio that sees it and is distributing it, I want to make sure to support that and go out there. And the man's name is Jason Aidoo, Aidoo. I would love for everybody to send him an email at Anscape, at ESPN, Jason Aidoo, and just thank him for putting out stories about black culture, and in this particular instance, black culture in sports.
One of the themes of They Fight is very timely in our news right now. So we've been having a lot of news stories about these people who were wrongfully incarcerated all these years, and then they're trying to come back into society, and they're trying to find their way to redeem themselves with the community, and is the community willing to receive them? And this whole story of redemption after you've served time. Based upon this role, what does the role tell us about, in the film, tell us about what society owes someone who has served his time and is genuinely trying to rebuild his life.
Well, it says more about who you are and who we are when we decide to either embrace them and allow them to come back into the world and society, or shun them and push them away. You see that in this film. Not everyone makes a choice that would be helpful, and you see that he has to fight and struggle for his redemption and make choices and be proactive about his choices. And so it teaches it. You tell a story so you can learn from a story. We turn out the lights and go to the theater so we can recognize ourselves. Thereby by the grace of God go I. And it comes to, would I make that choice? Will I shun those who are looking for a second chance, or embrace them, hold them accountable, and still embrace them, or hold them accountable and push them away? And then also how to do that is not only helping them, but it's so helpful to yourself, right? Not only the skills that they bring and contribute to the community, but then you find out something about yourself and your idea of what forgiveness is, and the strength that you get and the benefit you get from what is ultimately absolution and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Let's take on another call here. Chuck's been holding on from Monroe. Chuck?
Hello, good evening. How are you all doing? And good evening, Legend. I'm calling from up here in Monroe, Louisiana.
Yes.
What brought me to WBOK was through sports. Ro Brown, a great friend of mine, and that's what my sports buddy. That's what brought me to. I learned about WBOK. I've been listening through years.
Ro is
I'm
a
watching
Hall of Famer.
Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Ro is a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, yes.
Right.
And he and I talk sports like everything, sports history. And but my reason for calling, I've been watching you for over 30 years. Your films, I'm in my early 50s now, and I was thinking about one of the films that you did. I saw it at the theater during the time, and it was the one about the Million Man March, and that character you did, you showed how the black community, those in the black community can be. You have the people we're not showing that we're not monolithic.
Right, we are not monolithic. Yes, my character was a black Republican.
Yes,
a black Republican who got on the bus.
Dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you went to Vanderbilt, and I remember you were dissing. It was Tennessee State and Fisk.
Right, right.
And it kind of, and what you're doing, you did like what Samuel L. Jackson did in Django Unchained, and what Archie Bunker did on All in the Family, just to show it, just show the ignorance out
right.
there,
the ignorance and the ugly part of human nature, right? The way we learn in films and all this is seeing the ugly part of human nature.
Yeah, and you did a great. You've always all those roles that you've played through years. You've always done a great job with those characters, and that's what happened. It was like I said, teachable moments, and I started thinking about. I used to watch The Wire, and Treme and all, and I watched Soprano. You took me about that ending. You talking about the one that you were on? You talking about the people were disappointed with the ending? It kind of sounded like what happened in Sopranos. The way that ending was, David Chase ended up having to leave the country because the people became angry with him because when he did play "Don't Stop Believing" about Journey, they were sitting in that eatery and they just went to black. And
that's the thing about
sitting there like, what's going on? Yeah,
that's the great thing about art is because. It allows people to have their interpretation. Like I said, you look at the screen, you go there, but by the grace of God, go I. You brought up the movie Get on the Bus that I did. Which was, we did that movie. We said the only way we can do it, Spike Lee said, we can't do this movie about the Million Man March and not have it financed by black men. And he had it completely financed by black men. And on our premiere night, he returned their investment. Right before the film even started. That's a story that not a lot of people know, and that he returned his investment to everybody. And it was also very interesting to play that role. I think it was ahead of his time, because now we have all of these right-wing MAGA black men. I think of officers, and content creators who will easily, rationalize their anti-blackness and self-hatred. that they manifest and how they speak against people. The one in particular is this Officer Tatum, who is so offensive to the. No matter, even if he believed that, to be that offensive publicly, to make money off of the pain of the Wells family.
The Nolan Wells
situation.
The
Nolan Wells family. And so I find that offensive. And so so the role that I played, the most unfortunate thing about it was he was named Wendell. I said, Spike, why you want to put my name on there? Right? But and that's total opposite of who I was. But I've had he is Officer Tatum. He is the Byron Donald of Florida.
Donald.
You know, John James. All of those
Michigan.
Those are the people that he was reflective of. So it lets you know that they're out there. I really appreciate you checking out those films, and just let everybody know this Saturday. Go to the site, and you can get an invitation to come to the Orpheum Theater, 7:00 screening of They Fight by Anscape, produced by Jason Adu. So and
come
it's
on
free
down,
of charge.
Truck.
Come on down Saturday night here in New Orleans.
All right, my
sounds
friend.
Like Punk Jim out of Detroit. Emmanuel Stewart. That's what sounds. That story. Yes. I'm gonna land on that one.
All right, Chuck. Thank you, buddy.
You all take care.
Take care.
All right.
Wendell, why was it important for this film to portray Black boys as vulnerable, hopeful, and worthy of protection, not simply as threats or problems that need to be controlled?
Because we have to care for our children. We have to make sure that they know that they are loved. When you think back, as we all think back on some of the things that built us up, gave us the strength to be the strong men and women that we have become, it's because someone showed us that love. Also, Sheldon purposely wanted to focus on, while this movie shows you all the pain in life, he also wanted to show the joy in life. Mm-hmm. The joy of brotherhood and friendship that these young actors portray. It was really beautiful. And also just to show Black joy and not to be solely focused on Black trauma. Because we need that infection of joy in our lives as much as we can, along with the reality of all of the obstacles and the painful stuff that happens in life, but also knowing that there is that joy.
They'll touch upon so much. Like in this film, they're also talking about budget cuts to a recreation facility, and of course, we continue to see recreation centers, arts programs, mental health services, and mentorship for Black boys being cut, Black girls being cut all around the country.
As if it's a handout to us.
Right.
That's our tax dollars.
Right.
I tell people all the time, the poorest of people in this country pay taxes.
Right.
Right. And the rich always try to imply that it's their tax burden that's paying for everything those poor folks are getting. No.
Then somebody owes some money.
Yeah.
But the movie's touching on that, but also showing that there's still lots of money for incarceration.
Yeah.
You know, so
we live in Louisiana.
Right.
This is a cottage industry.
I tell you what,
of incarceration.
I tell you what, because I know he's got to take another break here, but I'm going to put this on your mind real quick, because I know that one of the things that's great with you, and if nobody's ever heard it, I heard it. I can say this, and I want you to kind of ad-lib it a little bit in your mind, and the times that we're living in. What is it, Wendell, that you see is maybe the part that's stifling Black people, as well as what needs to be done to help Black people? I want that to be, this is Wendell Pierce commentary coming up. Okay. All right. More next, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
A 17-year-old boy recently fell to his death at the infamous Plaza Towers high-rise, a blighted structure which has been abandoned since 2002. For whatever reason, the young man was there with friends. No one should be injured or die because a dilapidated building has been empty and neglected for years. My question, what obligation does government have when a privately owned hazard remains standing, unsecured, and dangerous year after year. Jacques St. Anne, a Belle Chase High School student, died after entering Plaza Towers with friends. According to police, the group climbed to an upper floor, and while descending a stairwell with no safety railings, Jacques fell to his death. Another teenager suffered serious lacerations to his arm and wrist. Plaza Towers has a long history of dangerous mishaps. In May 2021, a bicyclist was struck and injured by a piece of material that fell from the skyscraper. In January 2022, firefighters answered a 2-alarm fire at the structure. Investigators discovered multiple points of origin. In January 2023, more debris fell from the tower. In April 2023, firefighters were again called to the building. And the next day, a homeless man fell to his death from the tower. Former Mayor LaToya Cantrell subsequently acknowledged that demolition was being considered. The Inspector General questioned whether the city's response was adequate and pushed for stronger action. Now, to be fair, demolition isn't cheap. Current estimates range around $25 to $28 million, an improbable challenge for a city that's hard-pressed for cash. Meanwhile, city officials are hoping the proposal by the building's owner to develop the high-rise structure into apartments will materialize sometime in 2027. But similar proposals have surfaced and vanished since 2007. The developer may eventually turn Plaza Towers into apartments, and I'd like to see that happen. But a proposal is not a safety plan, and doing nothing to secure a hazardous building is not acceptable. Do we wait to see what the Plaza Tower does when we've waited for him to take action for 24 years? I ask again, what obligation does government have when a privately owned hazard remains standing, unsecured, and dangerous year after year? This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
What's up, gang? This is DJ Wick, and I would like to invite you to join me this Sunday night for the Throwback Throwdown, 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM and on KKNO 750 AM and 107.1 FM, as I have a very special show this Sunday to salute the man himself, Barry Richards, the Rizar, as he has passed on and gained his wings. I'm rebroadcasting the very first interview of the Throwback Throwdown with the Rizar as our special guest. Join us this Sunday night for the Throwback Throwdown with yours truly, DJ Wick, 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM and KKNO 750 AM, 107.1 FM.
What if you could pull up a chair at the same table as your doctors? Join me, Kimber White Dupree, as I welcome board-certified physicians, Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlanda Rayno Harris. For Table Rounds, we're bringing those meaningful medical conversations out of the hospital and into our community. Health topics that matter most, from the health disparities and menopause to mental health and much more. Table Rounds with Dr. Princess Dinner and Dr. Darlanda Rayno Harris. Every fourth Monday at 10 a.m. on the front porch, because better conversations lead to better health.
Hey New Orleans, it's Doc Griggs. Tune in every Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. for Doc Talk and get checked, get fit, get moving.
Extended through Labor Day, Louisiana residents get half off general admission to the National World War II Museum. Take advantage of 50% off and beat the summer heat at New Orleans' #1 attraction. Don't wait. Plan your visit at nationalworldwar2museum.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And we're back.
See, Wendell will get you talking and then
Right.
get
We're
you in trouble.
enjoying the in-studio conversation so much, we're forgetting about the on-air conversation.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
WBOK, 1230 AM, 107.1 FM, and the talk line is 504-582-9422 as we enjoy conversation with the one, the only Wendell Pierce.
Let's go back to before the break. I kind of put an assignment on you,
Right.
if that's what we can call it.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I know about you that I think that many folks will also learn about you is that you're not just here. This is your home.
Right.
You have been doing business here, or at least trying to do business in some aspects as well. And you get the roadblocks sometimes too, which, you know,
Absolutely.
the regular guys like me are sitting there going, what? Da, 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 da. So my whole
Remember they had
question,
that sign on the 4th floor in the City Hall? One-stop shop.
Yep.
I used to say, we go there to shop and everything stopped.
Yep. I can still remember seeing you walk through the doors of City Hall at the City Council, looking at them like, what happened?
Yeah.
And maybe some deals that were supposedly that you were involved in. But I do want to say this, and I want to go back. This city has had its ups, its downs.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I know about you, I know that you know how to put together what's holding people back, what drives us forward. And if we had to rely on you to put that in perspective for everyone, what would that look like?
First of all, the greatest resource any community, any society, any country has is its people.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a community that is so impoverished is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. When you are one of the greatest ports in the world, when you have some of the greatest culture in the world, world renowned, one of the greatest brands in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You go anywhere in the world and you say, I'm from Louisiana. They say, New Orleans. Right? Maybe we should send the governor on a trip and let him learn that.
And that's all.
Hey, I'm from Baton Rouge. Where's that? Right? New Orleans isn't important. Go to Budapest. Go to Budapest and go to the Budapest Jazz Club. I used to hang out there. I lived there for 2 years, and they found out I was from New Orleans. It was a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for New Orleans, we have a great culture, we have great people, and we have a great port. We need to act like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our port is of so great an importance that everybody's talking about the Strait of Hormuz right now. Imagine if somebody militarized the port of New Orleans.
Right.
You know, it would cause a war
Mm-hmm.
because it is so important to this country. And for it to be the port that it is, it should reap the benefits of that. The city should reap the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you were a citizen in Dubai, you reap the benefits of the oil there. Everyone does. So we want to make sure that our port is profitable and our port is benefiting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And is a incubator of business, an incubator of talent. So everyone who keeps saying, oh, they want to put this dock downriver, upriver, over here, they're all just trying to say we want to take away that business from the Port of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to protect that Port of New Orleans because of that. When it comes to the city and culture, because I am a cultural bear,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to Paris, do you think about the French Stock Exchange? No. You think about the museums.
Mm-hmm.
You plan your trips around the restaurants. You plan your trips even around the Seine, just going up and down the river.
Right.
The first thing I'm going to do when I go
You get
to
on
the
the boat.
Saints football team, I'm going to go to the game, and I'm going to get on the boat and take a tour of the Seine and see the lights
Mm-hmm.
as I begin the weekend. When people come to New Orleans, the greatest block of jazz has sat dormant and derelict my entire life. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. South Rampart and Perdido, across the street from our city hall, is where Jelly Roll Morton, Kid Ory, King Oliver, at the Odd Fellows Hall and the Eagle Saloon sat and played. Next door was the Karnowski grocery store, where a little boy by the name of Louis Armstrong was taken care of by this Jewish-Polish family, the Karnowskis. Next to that was the Iroquois Theater, where all of those men started that music that we are now known for around the world, the music of jazz. And then a couple of blocks away is where those captured Africans found their musical and cultural freedom before their actual physical freedom of Congo Square, where you took the African six and combined it with the European brass and came up with
so
jazz.
You got more jazz on the upbeat.
Right. So you have two of the most sacred places.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Cuba. They actually do Congo Square there to this day. It's like Calle Hamel, because it's actually they were going through Vodun,
Mm-hmm.
all the Orishas, and they drum there every Sunday at 3:00 and go through the ceremonies to the Orishas, and people come from around the world to see that tradition.
But
that's what was happening in Congo Square.
Right. But the average person doesn't even know what Congo Square is. The only reference to Congo Square that you see happening at one time is at Jazz Fest.
Right. And you know about the Louvre?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, in Paris.
Right. In Paris, right?
Yes.
You know about the Eiffel Tower, right?
Right.
So that's on us.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we've dropped the ball. If I was leading this place, everybody in New Orleans would know about
Wendell,
Congo Square.
They got rid of all of the black tour guides. They took their licenses away.
That is not by chance.
Right.
That is purposeful.
By design.
Right.
Including those black tour guides that were taking the folks to see where people were buried.
In the cemetery.
Yes.
And were pointing out the historic figures that were buried in St. Louis #1 and St. Louis #2. They can't even get a permit
Can't even go
to
see
do
Marie
those
Laveau.
And that is a part of the music. That's part of the music ordinance where you see these young black kids playing music out on the street, and they're saying, you got to shut it down. You got to shut them down. The music that we created that is known around the world being played by the youngsters in the great tradition and lineage that they are a part of, and they're trying to shut them down because they're trying to force it in the club so the bar man can make his money. The only way you can hear that our music is in there, right? It's like the folks who came here after Katrina and said, we're going to shut down all of these second lines. Oh, no, you're not, right? So you have all of this culture, but yet we have some of the greatest monuments to the music. Why don't you renovate that corner of the Eagle Saloon that sits there to this day and can't be torn down because it's on the National Register of Historic Places. So people go, why are these two buildings sitting here derelict in the middle of Howard Johnson's parking lot? If you go there, there's just the plaque. People come from around the world, and when you see these Europeans just standing there, just staring at this abandoned building, that's what they're doing.
Because they know about it.
They know about it. There's the pilgrimage that have come there. If we renovated that and had music from noon to midnight, they would have a line around the block.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to serve food nor drink.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a culinary restaurant where people come. I mean,
our restaurants are shutting down right now.
Michelin just came for the first time last year.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
For
the first time, we have James Beard Award winners, all of it. But right now, I'm making my reservations for restaurants in Paris now, before the Saints game, October 25th, because I have to. I have to, because I know people coming from around the world to go to these same restaurants
and they're gonna be
I
sold
want to go to, and they're sold out.
Yeah.
You have to make your reservation. We don't even have, the city of New Orleans doesn't even have a restaurant that they own. They're so worried about giving out these grants to these private organizations, that old hustle, that they're not even focusing on. Why don't we have a club
you said something
that just plays music?
But
why don't we just have a restaurant that? Why don't we have the official New Orleans second line? So if someone prominent dies, they can come here and be honored by New Orleans in the traditional way, and that would be an economic engine. The New York Philharmonic is an economic engine to New York. Broadway is an economic engine to New York. But yet you get all our culture for free.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even, and people say, oh, you don't want to monetize it. No. Yes, you do. You pay for that, which is of worth.
Same thing with our
It's
Indians.
value. It's the Indians.
We've seen plenty of people come here with them telephoto lenses.
Right. See,
and put them in magazines and books.
What happens is,
and
right,
sell them.
I actually saw it in Paris, where they actually took pictures, and because it's public domain, so it's tricky. You got to figure out a way to do it. The Indians are trying to figure out that way to do it. I actually think they should do a photograph of the suit before they come out, that you have a rush for that photograph posted, like you have the rush for the Jazz Heritage posted the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So monetize the culture. That should be our jazz museum or the Congo Square Museum.
But should there be someone in the city, though, that leads that effort? Because there's so many different things that it's the same thing Mr. Janusa said here when he came, last Monday. Mr. Janusa, who's the CPA, ran for mayor. And he said one of the things that's wrong with New Orleans is we don't monetize our resources.
Right.
And we should be able to, as many things that we have, be able to monetize our resources. And I'm thinking to myself as he's talking about this, who's going to do it?
It takes the person with political will who can do it. All the musicians here, we said on Treme, man, people love New Orleans music. They just don't love New Orleans musicians. Every musician here will tell you they love the summertime. Not because it's so hot in New Orleans, it's because they go around the world and make their money for the year.
Somewhere else.
Right? The Montreux Jazz Festival, Carmel, everywhere. The Mount Fuji Jazz Festival in Tokyo. I see folks all around the world.
We were talking to
Glenn Andrews.
Glenn Andrews. If you follow Glenn Andrews on social media, he's like, where's he second line?
Right. He's
second lining today. Because you would think Glenn Andrews would be able to draw. But as New Orleanians, we have always said, man, I get Pookie around the corner. He play, I can hear him too. He was in the marching band at Cars, so I totally accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's meet the culture.
Pookie meets Budapest.
No, here's the deal. You from here?
You should
be get in free.
Right.
Yes. In Paris, you have your local day, your free day here at the museums, all of that stuff. So you have that. Now, when it comes to how do you generate the revenue and how do you run this city? If I ran this city, one thing we'd do is put a moratorium on all the free grants and millions of dollars that we give to these private-public relationships.
Mm.
The most money, when you look on the back of your taxes, that millage, that old archaic word, call it taxes. On your millage, you look at the Audubon Institute, which I love. I love the Audubon Zoo. I love the insectarium, and I love the aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we should be giving them more than we give the police, firemen, and EMTs. And when we bitch and complain about crime in this city, and we don't have this and we don't have that, just know that you give most of your money to the zoo.
Mm.
Right? So, free money.
So who the real monkey?
Free money, right? I sat on the board. of the Idea Village. We got $500,000 a year from the city. I said, why? They said, economic development. I said, but we have an office of economic development for this. But what we do? I said, we can do it. We've raised money. We had some of the biggest venture capitalists on the board.
Mm-hmm.
We met our budget. If we care about the city, let's not take that grant. The Library Foundation, I love what they do. They love the library. But guess what? They're not the library. The library has a line item in the budget.
They're the foundation.
They're a private organization.
Right.
So why are they getting? So we're doing a redundancy of the budget. We give money to the library, and then we give money to this private organization because they support the library.
Mm.
Well, shoot, I support the Saints. The Saints send me a check? No. Right?
You paying?
Right.
So the Business Alliance, Audubon Institute, the Police and Justice Foundation. You think that's the police? No, that's just a private organization that supports recruiting the police. We give money to the police
for recruitment.
Let them do their job.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't shown me any. It's a redundancy.
Right.
So
and we're still low in police.
So all of those people that get all those organizations that have figured out a way to put somebody in city government to cut them a contract where they get a part of the treasury for the work that they do, a moratorium on that for 10 years.
Mm.
And let's put that money back into the treasury of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
You raise enough money on your own to do that. With all the events that you do, the fundraising that you do, whatever, you don't need to raid the treasury of New Orleans. Yeah. And let's see what happens then. So, actually, that's my social call. Mm-hmm. I ask everyone to now start a movement to ask all the public-private partnerships to forego the money that they get from the New Orleans Treasury for a moratorium of 10 years, and let that be their sacrifice to the city that they love, to allow that money to go back and be used for infrastructure.
You asking somebody to do some work.
I'm asking somebody not to do the work.
Yeah.
Not to take the money.
Not to take the money. But you're asking these folks, because this is their comfort zone.
That's the comfort zone. I believe in all of them. I believe they can raise the money. I think that's really good. I think they can do their job on their own.
Let's take another telephone call here, Miss Tracy Riley. What you say they're retired, let me see, Army. Yeah, that's Army. I almost called you Marine.
Thank you for your service.
You got it right. Thanks.
How you doing, Major?
I'm good. I'm sitting here listening. Hello to Mrs. Bagneris and to Mr. Pierce, and of course to you, Gerod. This topic, getting back to business ownership and restaurants and entertainment and culture and monetizing that, to own that as the culture bearers, as someone who transitioned out of the military 13 years ago and obtained that 16,500 square foot property on 300 Decatur for that purpose, the Rouge House. And the journey that I found myself embarked upon, which included homeowners associations linked to city government, through the Vieux Carré, through French Quarter Management Districts, through the City Hall, and their permitting process, and how we were blocked from getting or being delayed access to our essential permits. And then after we overcame that hurdle and went to the state for that last permit we needed to earn revenue to keep our doors open, which was essentially blocked at the state of Louisiana, like in 13 years, doing all the things, following all the rules, following all the laws, going to all the community meetings and all of the organizations, and going before city council and speaking to the elected officials. As someone who has personally been walking that walk for 13 years and continuing to walk it, it is encouraging to hear the energy on your show today about continuing to press and open those doors, because I am a soldier and I will not quit, because I have done all the things that I'm supposed to do. And even for someone like me to go through that type of hurdle, I can only imagine what the rest of, the entrepreneurs in the city who are attempting to obtain economic independence, something that we are entitled to, and what their walk looks like. Like, I'm ready. What do you want to do? What can we do more than and pick up the pace, because these doors are not opening for us.
First of all, I want to thank you for your fortitude and your perseverance. I remember meeting you. I remember and I know of the journey that you've gone through. And I know that it was intentional and purposeful. As I mentioned earlier here, how a bank, when we were the biggest loan that they ever had, literally just told us, I just don't want to do business with you. I know you've been paying your bills. I know you've been paying your mortgage payment. I don't want to do business with you. And you couldn't get a better example of how people used regulations and city business and all of that to disparage you, to disparage your business, and to put every obstacle placed in front of you. And I know how difficult that is, especially in the Vieux Carré. And it was intentional, and you know it was intentional. We first have to say, I believe, that not even get into the argument, expose everyone as they place those obstacles in front of you. You have to expose it. I realize that we walk gingerly around it, trying to be diplomatic and political and everything, but we have to expose it. There were those who literally, we were trying to open a grocery store in New Orleans in the lower Ninth Ward. And I was having a discussion with the chief of staff for Stacey Head. Stacey Head was her name?
Yeah.
Right? President of the city council. And I was having, and she was just like, this was after the storm, and just the Ninth Ward, the lower Ninth Ward is not viable. I said, what are you talking about? It wasn't viable. The lower Ninth Ward has been such an important part of the city almost since the beginning of this city, when it was considered the country, right? You were out in the country, it's not viable. I said, how can you say a city, part of the city is not viable? First of all, it was nothing there. I said, nothing's in New Orleans now. It's all destroyed with Katrina. I said, well, just think of one place that you've gone to in the lower Ninth Ward that you can say is viable. We can start from that place and then grow that. Where have you gone to eat, or where do you stop at a business or someone's home or whatever? She goes, I go through the Ninth Ward all the time. There's nothing viable. And I said, what about, I forget the name of the restaurant. I mentioned a restaurant by Holy Cross. I said, even if it was just to stop by to see the studio and home of Fats Domino, did you ever go to, this place or that, right? No, the Stardust was a bar room, I remember, something right on St. Claude or whatever. It's no viable. I haven't. I said, just one place. Just tell me a store that you've gone to and stopped. Yeah. Well, I've never gone to the lower Ninth Ward.
All right. You don't go in by what you heard.
She literally said, I have never gone to the. I said, but no, you're the chief of staff of the city, the sitting president of the city council. What do you mean you haven't gone to the Ninth Ward? And she said, well, I told you I passed through. I said, I'm not talking about when you passed through to go see your cousins in the parish, Chalmette.
Right.
I'm talking about the Lord. And she had never been. So we have to realize that and when I did a play, when I did Waiting for Godot in the lower Ninth Ward, there were people who came and said, this is the first time I've ever been across the Industrial Canal. This is the first time I've been here. I wanted to see this play. And I couldn't believe it, but then you realize that that's the people that you're fighting against. So you recognize that there are those who do not have your best interests at heart, but then you look at your community. Man, if you don't want me in the French Quarter, I'm going to go somewhere where I am wanted. And I'm going to create something, right? Fight the battles. I'm not saying give up, but fight the battle. But create the engine that you want to create. If you see something, put it into your world. And then we put the demands on the community to support those folks, because when you support them, you are supporting yourself. So thank you for your commitment, and hang in there.
Major Riley, we got to take our break. So, of course, we want to thank you, of course, and keep the fight up.
And when we come back, we're going to tell you about something this station is about to do to start helping small businesses, small Black businesses in this city.
More coming up, y'all.
AURN News.
8 million Americans have lost Medicaid, CHIP, or Affordable Care Act coverage, according to a new state-by-state analysis from the healthcare advocacy group Protect Our Care. The organization links the losses to higher insurance premiums and healthcare provisions in President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. It also identifies more than 1,100 hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and other providers that have closed, announced cuts, or are considered at risk. Protect Our Care produced those estimates, but the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office confirms the broader direction. CBO projects the number of uninsured Americans will rise from 30 million this year to 37 million by 2036, largely because of the 2025 law's Medicaid and Affordable Care Act marketplace provisions. The organization warns as more people lose insurance, families will pay more while hospitals absorb more uncompensated care. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Wake up and join us on the Good Morning Show every first and third Friday at 8 a.m. to hear our friends at New Orleans & Company, the official destination sales and marketing organization for New Orleans and a driving force behind our city's cultural economy. Learn more at www.neworleans.com.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
I'm Angelica Harris, a proud New Orleans native and founder of Top Tutors for Us. In high school, I raised my ACT score from a 60 to a 32 and earned more than $1.5 million in scholarship offers. Now, our award-winning platform connects Black students with tutors who look like them, from leading universities like Xavier and Tulane. Your child can achieve that same success. Visit TopTutorsForUs.com and follow Top Tutors for Us on social media. Built for our students by us.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back. It's WBOK 1230 AM and 107.1 FM. The talk line is 504-582-9422. And Major Tracy Riley, you raised an excellent point, as the founder and owner of the Rouge House. For those of you who don't know, her vision was to establish a Black-owned supper club, recording studio, and internet station at 300 Decatur Street, which she described as the Motown of the South. I just want you to know that WBOK, a station owned by Wendell Pierce and others, is hearing you. And we are about to start small business mixers and incubators, and hopefully we can help you to put together packages for advertising to get these small businesses off the ground at a very, very reasonable rate. We're also going to help you I'm going to try to put a coalition together of attorneys, Black attorneys, who are willing to give their time to help you to get your legal documents in order, because so many of us are operating without what we need. And therefore, we end up losing what we've worked so hard to achieve. Right. And we want to hook up Black businesses with other Black businesses. And we want to identify these businesses so that our listeners can make their Black dollar walk around 365 in the Black community. So we're going to be beginning this very soon, this initiative. We're excited to launch it. If you want us to come to your business to host our small business incubator, please let us know. We're so excited about this initiative. We really think it's what our community needs, and we hope that you receive it in the spirit in which we're offering it.
One of the reasons I was a part of the ownership team and came on to buy this station when it became available is because this is a legacy station. WBAK has always done things like this. They gave voice to the voiceless, where people can come and express themselves from the community, give them a platform so that they can be heard when they can't be heard or are not accepted in other media outlets in this city. And this is something that we are very excited about. It's really a relaunch, because this is an incubator that we've had before. We know how successful it has been, and we want to make sure to bring it back. And this is exercising our right of self-determination.
And I want to say something too, Wendell, and give you credit. This is not something new for you to just hear us talk about. You were a part of it when we first started it, and you saw the success of it, and you was like, "Wow, this is great!" And came because we were doing it then at the McDonald's off of Carrollton. Yep. So thank you very much. Since we're running out of time here, final few words, and I think that we want to make sure that we pack up the Orpheum Theater on Saturday. Give us the final few words about what you're doing, the play itself, how important it is to this community as well as other communities.
This is the New Orleans premiere of the film They Fight by Sheldon Candace. And it is a film that I want to support the film community here in New Orleans, make sure that people get out and are aware of the Film Society. This is actually precursor to the New Orleans Film Festival, which is about a month away. And so this is our film is going to be in that festival. And this is going to be, promoting that as well. But to come to see the work of Black creators is free of charge. It's at the Orpheum. It's at 7 o'clock. You have to have a RSVP. You go to the NewOrleansFilmSociety.org and register with one click, RSVP. And it's Orpheum Saturday night at 7 o'clock. There will be a Q&A afterwards, and it's free of charge. And it's a promotion of the great work by this creator, the great work by this studio, Anscape, with Jason Adieu as a young, bright executive of Hollywood who is a young man who has a great vision. It's not a dream. A dream happens when you're sleeping. A vision is when you are focused, awake, and put together a clear strategy and plan to get there. And that's what Jason Adieu and Anscape is emblematic of. And so we want everyone to come. It's really great to be home. It's really great to be here at WBOK. Hopefully I'll see all of you guys at the Orpheum Theater at 7 o'clock on Saturday. So thank you very much. It's great to be here. And that's what the reality check has been about today. Thank you.
I was going to ask you what kind of food you've been eating since you've been back home, but you done lost so much weight. I'm like, okay, should I really ask that question?
He's competing with Denzel Washington in here. I'm just letting y'all know. He's about to go after Denzel's
All I'm saying, the thing is, I was real good with my nutrition and medications and going to the gym even. But then I got a trainer. And what I realized when I went to the gym, you do one set, and then you talk, hey, hi, man. You see, I talk too much right now. Right. And then you wipe your face, you get a drink of water, and about 20 minutes later, you do your second set, and then you talk some more and all that, and then you go, oh, man, that's an hour.
I got to go.
I got to go. Right. And then, man, when I do a set now, it's totally different. So,
you haven't even broke a sweat.
Yeah, man, now, he takes it out on me. You have a bad day. Oh, man, my trainer's really, really good dude.
Looking good, though, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's going to wrap things up for us for a Wednesday.
Thursday.
We forget every day.
Oh, my goodness.
What time
we will be back tomorrow on Friday.
We will be back tomorrow. Jeff Thomas is going to join us tomorrow. So make sure that you join us for that conversation on tomorrow as well. Wendell, good luck. I know this is going to be good. Everybody should make their reservations to be
I'm doing mine
out
now.
on Saturday night to see it and hear the talk afterwards. I know that's going to be interesting too.
Yes.
All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for us. We'll see you on tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.